So, the European Union obviously have smart people, right? Obviously have smart technology people, and they always ahead of the game. They deal with Apple with the iPhone, with the slowing down the iPhone. They deal with the USB-C, which basically forced them to use USB-C. What else they did? They regulate Facebook and tell Facebook that they have to separate the data from going to the data centers in America and only using data centers.
The biggest thing is, do you accept the cookies? Do you reject the cookies?
Yes,
that's the biggest.
GDPR, yeah. So now they jump the gun, and well, not they jump the gun. There's like big tech execs say Europe's new AI law could harm innovation. So here's what the law says, right? The Artificial Intelligence Act. They are saying that they are putting a groundbreaking law aiming to harmonize rules on artificial intelligence. The so-called Artificial Intelligence Act, the flagship legislation follows a risk-based approach, which means the higher the risk to cause harm to society, the stricter the rules. It is the first of its kind in the world and can set a global standard for AI regulation. So I'll go down to the paragraph that actually has the things that they consider to be high risk. The new law categorizes different types of artificial intelligence according to the risk. AI systems presenting only limited risk would be subject to very light transparency obligations, while high-risk systems will be authorized but subject to a set of requirements and obligations to gain access to the EU market. So they're saying if you want this AI to work in the EU market and you consider it high risk, you have to pass through us. But what is high risk? AI systems such as, for example, cognitive behavioral manipulation and social scoring will be banned from the EU because their risk is deemed unacceptable. The law prohibits the use of predictive policing based on profiling and the use of biometric data to categorize people according to specific categories such as race, religion, or sexual orientation.
Minority Report.
If you Minority Report. Wow. But if you think about AI and the things it has failed at so far, the EU seems to be concerned or calling something high risk when it manipulates your behavior or gives you some sort of social score. Remember the episode of Black Mirror where they had the app that was basically it could give people hearts and I'll rate them or something like that? Yeah. So they don't want EU to take over social media. Well, I'm trying to put it in a broad brush because it's very, very vague. And that's the issue that most people might have. We don't know what AI is actually going to do. We don't know what AI is going to look like, but they're trying to get ahead of what AI might do and deem it unacceptable. Like, the easy part is the predictive policing and profiling people on biometric data. Basically, that is very valid to me because when the AI sees a black person, they will automatically, based on historic data, say, okay, that person is most likely a criminal because of the data that we have, but the data that you had would have been most likely skewed towards a particular demographic, right? But it's very, very interesting that what they consider to be high risk, it will almost be vindictive to certain companies to say, you implementing AI on your social network, that's high risk. You have to come through us and show us how everything works. And that's what the article on CNN saying. All the big techs, Meta and Amazon and all these people, they're saying, we'll have a problem because the question is, the new law will harm research and development. And R&D is how these companies, well, technically, but,
Yeah, it's real vague, like, to try and figure out exactly what is, what we're going to be allowed. It's vague. And when things vague, that means you could paint a broad brush at it, and you're not sure where your limit is, or where you could actually, all right, I could do this, I can't do that. When it's vague, you can't really plan, or you can't really plan and same thing innovate or whatever. You're not sure what the rules are, so it make it a bit difficult to just. Cause when you're doing stuff like that, sometimes it's hard to just let loose and try and go big and then close up the scope. But now the scope starting small.
I don't really mess up too much with Facebook and their statements, but Meta's AI chief Yan Lee Chun, he said there are clauses in the EU AI Act and various other places that do not regulate research and development. I don't think that do regulate research and development. It's not a good idea. He said, I don't believe it's anywhere close. I don't think it's dangerous, frankly, certainly not today. AI systems might become a lot smarter in the future, but then they will be designed with appropriate safeguards, he added. But today, trying to figure out how to make future super intelligent IT AI systems safe is like asking in 1925, how do we make jet transport safe? And jet transport was not invented yet.
So they tried it. Go back on the article. You see where you say they'll be designed with appropriate safeguards coming from somebody from Meta.
Well, I kind of had to preface it and say, well, I don't really deal up too much with Meta and their statements. But, right, so let me look at it from both sides. The EU side is, this thing has the potential to become a revolutionary, world-changing thing. And we need to protect our people from the revolutionary, world-changing thing that's going to happen. And we don't want to get caught on the back foot. I believe that the EU is definitely trying not to be caught on the back foot when it comes to technology, and that's a good thing. But from the innovative side, which is the companies that are trying to use AI basically to make money off of people and create products that will boost their bottom line, lower the bottom line and boost the profits, they're saying, well, we had to try something, If we don't try something, we'll never be able to find out what it can do. And if we don't know what it can do, then we won't be able to make the place a better world. I don't know which I really thought.
Which side of the fence you think you'll lean more on? I get what the EU is saying, and the dilemma is that you need certain things, you need certain freedoms, in terms of developing technology and software and stuff like that, but as I say, these people's, at the end of the day, their bottom line is be profit, so they're not necessarily going and make sure everything audited or everything, as I say, the appropriate safeguards going to be in place. That might be an afterthought. They might just go wild and then be like, hey, you probably should do this, you probably should do that. Cause I think over the past few months, however, a lot of people from OpenAI actually left the company because of those same concerns that, they were more focused on profit rather than the safeguards and making sure you do it in a
I think they say
socially responsible
or something like that.
Yeah, making sure things in place. So it's a balance, it's a balance, because on one end, we know it's inevitable, but
based on,
you're going to trust the people who trying to sell to you to regulate the thing.
Based on what I have seen of the EU in the past 5 to 10 years, I will side with the EU.
Yeah.
Because the level of responsibility that tech companies take for destroying the world is very, very poor, in my opinion. Now, I am not a fan of the way social media works, especially as a teacher, seeing teenagers on a weekly basis struggling to manage how this world works with respect to social media, using it improperly, so self-esteem, all that kind of thing. I have a definite bias because I'm a part of a education system where social media is destroying a lot of the minds of children and putting them in positions where they shouldn't be too early in their life, right?
Mm-hmm.
If the EU's goal is to, because they have all kind of other things in the pipeline to ban social media for teenagers and all them kind of things in the pipeline. We've seen already, right? The EU may have, they may be out of place in trying to put safeguards in place before AI is established. However, I think they are in place by putting the high risk and the low risk sort of mandate in, because the places where it will be high risk will be the social media companies. And when these social media companies start to use this AI, because up to this morning I was reading that your Facebook posts, all the Facebook posts, going to be used to feed Facebook AI. And to opt out, you have like 15 menus to pass through. Then to click I agree, and then can find the tick button after, all that kind of thing. Yeah, all of that is because, well, they want to make money. And nothing wrong with them wanting to make money. But the EU also has a job to be like, okay, if you want to make money here, you have to put some sort of, you have to pass through some sort of regulation, because you can't just make money off of taking advantage of people's lack of discretion.
As you talk about I kind of ahead of the curve in terms of Facebook trying to use their content. Because every now and again, Facebook does bring up, hey, you have this memory from 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And I see it, I just cringe and I just delete it. So any memory come up, I just be like,
wow.
I say this crap, and I delete it.
Man, delete any memories. I guess maybe. Yeah, all right. Well, that's wild.
So you had to go, you had to scroll a lot to find anything on my Facebook
you
page.
Like see your memory. I'm on wipe it. Like, so when you remember certain things when you're a child, you just be like, I need to forget that.
No, like social media. Say,
you probably said
like
something out of pocket.
Yeah, like those students, no, they posting on social media like it's worse for them now. They posting things now, and you could imagine 10, 15 years from now, they looking back and seeing what they're posting, and it's like, and then say that somewhat they're working somewhere with their children and whatever, and your child see the crap you was posting, is be like, why was it that?
They will not be proud of themselves. Yes,
so for them it's probably like 10 times worse, because they on social media since there's like in the early teens. I only on Facebook since my late teens, so it's worse for them, because when you're early teens you're more susceptible to post more crap.